Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball!
Manchester United considered first again in the Premier League, even though they won that game 3-2. Their defense has always been the problem since Amorim took over. They have conceded a whole lot of goals everywhere. They keep conceding goals. Even Ipswich scored 2, but they came back to score 3 to make that game 3-2. Maguire scoring the last goal, the first minute of the second half to score the third goal to make it 3-2. Okay, guys, even though that Manchester United won this game, but it's still a shambolic performance from them. Even though even for the red card, it was still not the whole Manchester United. Even though Amorim is still building, I will still blame him till now. But they are not showing really the progress everybody needs to see. Even though they won this game, but generally in this game, they scored 3 goals. Good game for them. From 3 set pieces, they scored 3 goals. They have been conceding set pieces now. They scored 3 against Ipswich, but good game generally.
From 3 set pieces, they scored 2.
One is an own goal. Okay.
One is an own goal. Thank you. I think this game is a categorical example of Manchester United season. They say that a broken clock tells time twice in a day, and one thing you can tell about Manchester United is that they always start the game after they take the first blow, which is why someone here next to me will say that they are comeback, score winning goal.
Under Fergie at the same thing.
So for me, I would just say that them going that same position, I don't like it. We all know that they gave what's it called now, Ipswich, the first goal as a bonus, freebie, strolling the ball into the back of the net because of miscommunication between Dogu and Onana. I wouldn't blame Onana, but I can't help but blame the both of them because there should have been better communication. When you are a defender and you have an offensive goalkeeper that comes out to get the ball, you should have an understanding, which is why I still feel that Amorim should lock Onana and the back 4 in a room for 24 hours. Let them communicate.
Back 5 actually.
Yes.
If you look at that game generally, Amorim I got 3 points, even though they are don't really move at the table, but 3 points is good progress if you think about it, for getting 3 points, because a couple of games they have not really won games. But in this game, even though it's Ipswich Town, I'll not call it a big team, but if it's any team above top 10, I don't think they're going to win this game. But they got 3 points all the same.
Well, good game for Man United, good game, but I'm not going to talk about the result because everybody's focused on the result and performance. But I like to see different things in the pitch. You lose the ball, you run back to defend. We saw it with Bruno Fernandes, we saw it with Zeski, we saw it with Højlund. Even if his numbers up front was not good, his numbers defensively were okay. You get Garnacho, the same thing. They lose the ball up front. They are all sprinting backwards to defend the back line. And it's good to see players putting that amount of energy, which means whenever you go and that's one thing, that's where Ahmad stands out. Ahmad is going to run for you 90 minutes, and that's one thing Amorim wants from the whole team. But not everybody is doing it. Not every player on the Man United side is doing it right now. Dalot can sprint forward, but he's not getting back as fast as Bruno Fernandes. He's not getting back as fast as Zeski. I saw that game yesterday, and I'm like, Dalot, you just sprint backwards. Even if you're not, just sprint back. If you cannot go forward and sprint back, just stay back. Don't come forward. And for Dogu, Patrick, it was a very terrible tackle. We saw that I think 3 seasons ago or 4 seasons ago. Andre Gomez on Son was the red card incident, but the referee FA said he slipped, and after review, it was like he slipped and stepped on Son, and Son broke an ankle also. So I feel like this incident should have been I won't say it's a red card incident, but because at the moment, the heat of the moment is a red card.
Well, even if you slip and match an opponent, they will still give you a red card. But what they are going to do is
review.
They probably miss either one game
and
or
appeal. You review and appeal it, then you lose. Instead of going the 3 games red card, you go one.
That slip actually, talking about that incident, that should going to be maybe 2 or 3 match man, because he stepped on him. But talking about Dogu played well. He made that mistake for the first goal. Talking about those goals scored. Miscommunication from Dogu and Onana. I don't understand why that have to happen. I don't know if it's because they don't speak English, but both of them should be speaking English.
At least
Dogu is from Denmark.
But they speak
Dogu
English.
is from Denmark.
and
he's
English
Nigerian.
is a universal language.
And the thing is a Nigerian descent.
I think it's just.
And the thing is, Onana is a French descent who has been around. So English should be your general language. And you've been in the Premier League for like 2 years now, and his English is not that bad. So let's not say he's. Onana's English is not that bad. Communication could have been a key. And there are sometimes you say, "Sir." there are some language you don't use in this field. If you use those language, you might be suspended or perhaps sanctioned.
I don't even think that basically. I think that if sometimes you don't even need to speak, you need to just see. If you look up, you see. But talking about first, let's talk about Man U defense in general because we start talking about those goals. Man U defense, they are playing fight, but they are still conceding goals.
That's the thing.
Do they need to buy? That's another thing because if you look at the three, fourth, they have Euro, they have Maguire, they have the Leeds. Good players. But do you think that he needs to buy more in the summer? Because look at what Dogu is doing. Even though Dogu got a red card in this game, but you could see the improvement from that side of the field.
Yes, it's no longer a liability like it was.
Do you think he needs to buy more in that defense because they are conceding a whole lot of goals?
I think he needs to buy. There are players that will need to let go. Like for example, he's gotten somebody on the left. Let's not forget he got somebody on the left earlier on. That guy is on loan. He's going to be coming back to the club at the end of the season.
He's leaving.
So now they have two in that position.
That's sure have to leave.
They now need to get another. They need to get another wing back on the right side.
So
that there's Mazraoui there. So either Dalot will have to move to the right back and pair Mazraoui, or they'll bring in somebody
and sell one of them because clearly something is not working there. Then looking at the three at the center. You have to look at the team and these three players or 4 or 5 players who can play in that center and look at who is the weakest link and how can I upgrade this position by letting 1 player or 2 players go. I think they should sell Maguire.
Why? He's the leader. You don't sell your leader. You don't sell the main.
I don't think they should sell Maguire.
Okay. You have Martinez.
Yes.
They have Euro. They will not sell Euro.
Euro is just coming in.
Martinez. They will not sell Martinez.
They will not sell Martinez. They will not sell the
Leeds is just coming in. Maguire is just coming in. Victor Lindelof definitely get out.
Lindelof will go.
Get out.
Maguire will play a relegated role in the team.
As a leader, you play from the bench. Fine. Then it's just Lindelof that's leaving. So, but for me, if you ask me,
they have to buy a young prospect like Euro
to just find his way.
Delete?
Yes, he should find his way. It's been personal opinion though.
Yeah, I understand.
But if you look at it, there's 2 players at Sporting right now that Man United has been connected with for the past 3 years. Ignacio and the other guy, Keda. Keda is a wing back. No, the other centre half defender. There are 2 players. I've forgotten the other guy's name. Ignacio and the other centre half. I'm like, okay, fine. If any of these 2 can come around in the summer, it will be
Mendes is already out of the picture.
Now Mendes is out of the picture. I think he's in PSG now, enjoying himself in France. So he's out of the picture. Then there's a Queda who is still at Porto, who is still at Sporting. So he can come in as wing back to replace Mazraoui or compete with Mazraoui in that position.
Well, most times you don't want to go back to your former club and start buying all the players.
I'm not saying buy all. I'm just saying just 1 player.
He has an agreement.
How many Ten Hag?
He has an agreement in place.
Not to sign
in January.
But in the
summer it's open season. So if he feels he needs to have
the
people
whole
that he trusts.
And there's a player.
I know Gyökeres will be in the conversation. Ignacio will be in the conversation, and then maybe Quenda that we are talking about.
Talking about striking options, Zeski and Højlund have not scored in about 2 months. I don't even know what they are doing there. Both of them have been lacking goals, especially Højlund because he has played more minutes than Zeski, truthfully. So I don't want to judge Zeski too much because he has played lesser than Højlund, but
and he has not been playing as
Zeski has played 1,194 minutes in the Premier League.
He should be scoring goals.
27 games in the Premier League, 7 in the Europa League. That's 34. And the return on this investment or the return on this performance is 3 goals, 2 assists.
Okay, talking about the striking options, do you think they need to buy? We talked about their defense, but do you think they need to buy? Because you can have 2 strikers that worth over £100 million and they are not scoring you goals. So do you think that they should give Højlund, because Højlund is looking like he's the main guy there? Rashford will go, obviously. Garnacho will stay. But Højlund and Zeski, do you think that they should sell one and buy another striker? Because
I think
they can buy Gyökeres if they want.
I think if they are serious about winning things, not just about winning. Before we talk about winning things, now that one's different. No, leave them. If they are serious about finishing in the top 4 next season or top 8, you have to get somebody in that will play in that striking position. Like for example, you look at teams that have won trebles, teams that have done big things. You have somebody who is the main man who leads the line, who is proficient in scoring, and you have a sleeky player who can come in that 9 position who can score and who is pacey. You have the Haaland who is physical and force and all those things. You also need somebody who can come in like the Kun Aguero, who is slicky, can dribble and like Alvarez. Yes. So you have Højlund. There's no need buying a Gyökeres because it's the same mode
You have to sell
with Højlund, or unless you are going to sell Højlund and Zeski. So me, I'm saying they should sell Zeski and then invest in a slicky striker up front.
What do you think? Do you think that man should buy or probably have one more year with Højlund before they buy?
You don't sacrifice an utility player for a certain kind of player.
You have to make sacrifices.
That's one thing. You want to sacrifice, you can sacrifice a certain kind of player for a certain kind of player, or like for like. You get, and if this like for like can fit into your team, Zeski for me is an utility player. He can play as a 10, he can play as a 9. Not really. I keep saying it. The supply up front is not there.
So you are saying Zeski is a Rashford?
The supply up front is not there. Zeski can come in between the midfield and play from the back. You could see that in last night's game. You could see that in games he has started this period. And mostly he's been starting from the bench. Which means if Zeski comes into a game, you see the change of level, you see the performance level, you see him hold up play. He doesn't go to the ground.
So they should stay Højlund.
So I'm just saying they can still play, give him more time.
So you want Man U to keep both men and then give them more time, or buy? And should they buy or should they not buy in that striking position? Yes or no?
If you're getting one experienced player that is about to retire that they could learn from.
Like who?
Wow.
Like who?
You remember the time they brought in Igalo?
Hey, my goodness.
And Rashford learned off him.
Man U fans.
I'm just saying. You can't always go for what's shining in the market. You can't always go for what's shining in the market. At some point, you have 2 strikers already.
Okay.
It's just that they lack leadership.
So what?
Now look at it now. Up front, who is the leader up front?
So what you are saying?
Nobody.
You are saying that they should give Zeski and Højlund 1 more year.
1 more year, yes.
Okay.
In defense, you have
I disagree.
It's an opinion game. You can disagree
man.
all you want. In defense, they get Maguire. He's the leader. These people come in, Euro comes in, learns off him. There's something you learn off him. In midfield, you have a Casemiro, you have an Eriksen. Ahmad can learn.
Eriksen and Casemiro should go.
Now. See now, look at it. Ahmad can learn off this person. Casemiro can learn off. What's it called? Toby Koila can learn off this person. Ugarte is learning off Casemiro. Forget that he has the experience on his side, but there are some things he looks at Casemiro and he say, okay, I'm looking up to you to learn 1 or 2 things. You get. Now going forward, Eriksen, Toby Melo can learn off him. You get, there are other players on the side that could learn off these experienced players, in which that's what they call leadership. No matter how you want to field your young players, you must at least have like 3 or 4 aged players that will learn.
The problem with this experiment is that they are looking to sell Eriksen.
Now look at it now. They're looking to sell Eriksen and Casemiro.
Yes.
Now you also tell me that for the past 2 years, there's not been an understudy for them.
Whose fault?
They have to buy.
Now they have been understudies for these 2 players because you're seeing to be coming into the picture this period.
They still have to buy another.
Now you still have to buy one midfielder,
experienced midfielder.
One midfielder maybe, but you see that Toby Koila has been learning off. So whenever he comes around in this season, when he starts, look at the performance he puts up.
Okay, let's
see. I want to just say something on this matter before we move on. This opinion is your opinion and it's a good perspective,
your own.
But it's not practicable because you are not Amorim, who is receiving fire from fans and the board. How can you tell me that you have these 2 players who have not scored in the last 2 months, who is fighting against relegation this season, and you are telling him that when summer is open, he should not go and bring Gyökeres? And you now gamble on Manchester United's next season, and you go into the season. Let's say you start the season, somebody picks up an injury, Zeski cannot play in that position. What happens? You start the struggle all over again.
You can get one player, not really focus on selling this.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that it's not practicable. Manchester United is so bogged down with wages and debt that they need to sell to recover money to make purchases, which is why over the last 1 year they've laid off 450 staff, right? So if you cut a Zeski salary now, he's earning about £104,000 a month. That's about roughly 3 or 4 million a year. I may not be correct, but if you take pounds,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So if you take his salary off the table and you bring a Gyökeres, or you bring a Sergio Guirassy, or you bring a Zesco, you are getting somebody in who is a pure 9, because right now Man U have just one. Go back in the last 20 years, Man U have always had 2 or 3, and they've been there to help the team. You have the guy that can play multiple positions like Rooney, and this guy is not performing. So they need to bring in somebody else and then find a way to balance the books to make sure that they can also strengthen the defense for next season as well.
Let's see if Amorim is going to buy, if he's going to buy this summer, because this summer is going to be crucial for him. The one he's bought already is Doku. He's doing well. Okay, talking about Ipswich, and they are probably going back to Championship. There is no way they can survive now.
They probably might not. They probably might not, because they put up the
It's
kind of
going to be hard to see them survive.
It's, like I said, it's a probability. It's still open.
Probably
There's still Wolverhampton Wanderers that are still living
They
around.
concede. That's the cocoa now. That's the cocoa.
There's still Wolverhampton Wanderers that are still living around.
Yes.
You get, if
They have
win
a better point average than Ipswich.
if they win the next couple of games, it's still, I think, 22 and 5 points difference, because 17-17, then Southampton, no, talk Southampton, 17-17 between Ipswich and Leicester City, then 22 points for Wolverhampton Wanderers. You get, so 5 points. If these people continue to put up the performance they put up and win their games, Wolverhampton Wanderers is going to be facing a whole lot of challenges.
In the last 5 matches,
I'm just saying 18th, 19th, 17th, and 16th are all. It's those positions are up for grabs. Anybody from that position down can relegate.
Let's see if Ipswich Town will relegate this season, but for Amorim, he's trying to build Manchester United to a level where they are, but it's going to be a tough thing for him to do. If you look at that game, they concede goals and goals. They are still have minus negative goal difference in the Premier League. I think now it's -6 because they just won with just 1 goal. So they are still owing Premier League 6 goals extra. But you need to start fixing up his defense. Every game he concedes first. Every game he concedes first. So you need to start fixing that. They need to, like John used to say, they start when they receive the first blue. I don't know why they start like that. They must still concede before they start playing. It doesn't make sense to me. But Amber need to fix their mentality. They fix that team somehow. I don't know how many players he's going to buy in the summer, but from this summer he will start buying his own players to fit in this particular kind of brand of football he wants to play. But can he do that? We'll get to see that in the summer when he starts signing his own player. But for this particular game, they won against Ipswich Town at Old Trafford 3-2.
with an own goal.